Hey, Canucks fans, some massive news. Former Canuck, I hate saying that, former Canuck Bo Horvat has signed a massive $68 million contract with the New York Islanders, 8 years times 8.5. Let's break it all down. I'm Canuck Clay. This is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, February the 5th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Hope you join me tonight for my regular Sunday night live stream. It'll be starting at 10:30 p.m. First half an hour, I'm going to bring on a special guest, Coach Patrick of one of my sponsors, Perform and Transform, Personal Training Weight Loss. We'll talk a bit about him, his work, and how he may be able to help some of you in this community and how he's helped me. So that's tonight, and then we'll do some Canucks talk as well and talk about what I'm going to talk about right now, which is Bo Horvat, fresh off all of the All-Star festivities. We know how strange that was, seeing him in a Pacific Division uniform. Strange seeing him with the Islanders crest on and an Islanders reverse retro jersey on Friday night for the skills. Making friends, still showing chemistry with Petey. And any hopes, which were very faint. I know I didn't think this was going to happen. Any hopes of Horvat coming back to the Canucks for next season dashed as the Islanders announced about half an hour ago, this brand new 8-year contract extension. So remember, because he's technically an Islanders player, even though he hasn't played a game with them yet, because he's an Islanders player, only the Islanders could offer him 8 years. Every other team could only, once he became a UFA, offer him 7 years. And that's the advantage you get. That's the advantage that the incumbent team gets. So, and of course, no other team could talk to Horvat until July 1st. So that's another advantage of the incumbent team is you obviously can negotiate with your own player anytime from within a year of his contract expiring. So we didn't know when this was going to happen, if it was going to happen, but yes, Bo Horvat signed with the Islanders after the season for another 8 years at $8.5 million a year. Now there's a couple angles I want to take here. One from the Islanders side and then one from the Canucks side. And when you look at the return in the trade now. So Horvat being 27 years old, turning 28, so just add 8 years to that. You know, he's going to be 35, 36 when this contract ends. So I'm 0% bitter. You guys know how much I like Bo, and he was my favorite Canucks player when he was on the team. But any contract for this length isn't going to age well. And we say that all the time. And we said that about the JT Miller contract when we know JT Miller's 7-year extension kicks in at the end of this season. And JT Miller is 29 years old. So technically, JT Miller is 2 years older than Bo. His contract is 1 year shorter. So that means, in essence, when their two contracts end, technically Miller's as a 7-year will end 1 year prior to Horvat's 8-year. And yet when the contracts end, Horvat will be 1 year younger, if that makes sense, than Miller. All to say, signing any player for that length, there comes some risks. And they earn it as a 27, 28, 29-year-old, 27, 28, 29-year-old player. You earn that as your big home run contract. And then no matter what, if you've signed for 7 or 8 years as a 27, 28, 29-year-old, you're going to be in your mid-30s by the time it ends. So I know a lot of people will say, regardless of who it is, but for this Horvat contract, that $8.5 million, it might look good for the next 3, 4, even 5 seasons. But maybe in the final season, final 2 seasons, even final 3 seasons, that this is going to be a tough contract. And we can say that about JT Miller as well. Horvat is quite durable in his career. He's actually, he hasn't missed a lot, actually. You look at his rookie season at 68 games, then 82, 81, 64, then 82 again, 69 in the shortened one. He played every game. 56 in the short one, played every game. Last year, 70 out of 82, and then every game this year. So generally a very durable player. He doesn't make a lot of big hits, doesn't get hit a lot, and a very smart player, good skater. So you expect Horvat's health to be just fine for this contract. It's more of a matter of performance. Speaking of 8 years times 8.5, a pretty funny quote actually from Islanders general manager Lou Lamoriello. He actually said this. It's too long and it's too much money. Your GM who just signed you says it's too long and it's too much money. Now, some people think maybe he's joking because he knows he's going to get quoted, but most people are saying no, he was very genuine when he said this, and he's just being very honest. He's not. That's not an offense to Bo Horvat, the player. Although I'm not sure if you're Bo, how you take that. It's just more of a commentary on the way this game is going. So kind of funny to hear your own GM saying right after the contract is announced, it's too long and it's too much money. And I think everyone would agree. If you take an objective look at it, 8 years is too long, considering you'll take Horvat till he's 36 years old. Remember, it kicks in after he turns 28. And then it's too much money. Yeah, 8.5, that's a lot. That's a lot. I know the salary cap is going to go up, but remember, it's going to go up for every team. So you're talking about relative competitiveness when it comes to contracts. And I think the other thing as well is, now if we flip this to the Canucks now, there's no way that they were going to come even close to matching that. You know that PD is going to be a $10.5 million player when it's time for his new contract in a year and a half. You already have Miller on the books for 8. Technically, OEL's on the books for 7.2 because Arizona's picking up $1 million of that. So he's an $8.2 million player. And so, and you still have, your Kuzmenko's new deal. You have one more year of Beauvillier. You still have Mikheyev, Garland, Besser, Hughes, Meyer. So there are a lot of big contracts on the team already. And the Canucks simply weren't going to be able to do $8.5 million. We've heard that their final offer was $7.25 or $7.5 million. So this is $1 million more a year. So I think we can say that the Canucks simply could not afford this contract, if that's indeed what Bo was looking for. But the last thing I want to talk about here is what though does this change in your eyes the return we got back? Now, when they're negotiating, because they did not allow other teams to talk to Horvat's agent, some would say that was good for negotiation and that another team wouldn't be able to gain so much leverage on you. Some others would say that it was bad because it artificially lowered your potential return. So when the Canucks made the trade with the Islanders last week, we obviously didn't know that Horvat was going to resign. So at the time, I said that it was a good return for the Canucks, the projected first rounder, Atu Ratu and Anthony Beauvillier. At the time, I said that was a good contract for the Canucks. A good trade for the Canucks, because technically at that time, Bo Horvat was a rental. We had no guarantees that he was going to re-sign with the Islanders. Now that he has re-signed this big contract with the Islanders, I do think, and you kind of can't think like this, but it's natural to think like this. You do wish the Canucks got a little bit more now because, and obviously this isn't how it works, but if they somehow knew that Horvat was going to sign long-term with the Islanders, then you could have tried to extract more value from the team. But that's living in fantasy land. That's not how these negotiations work. And I hope for the Canucks' sake that Beauvillier has a good year and they turn him into something. I hope that Ratu develops, and I hope that the first round pick turns out to be really good. But, many, many years to talk about that. Of the present, of today, Bo Horvat signs an 8-year extension, $8.5 million a year, $68 million with the New York Islanders. Canucks are going to practice in about 2 hours from now. I won't probably vlog about that unless anything major comes, and then I can talk more about that tonight on my live stream at 10:30. But Canucks fans, for now, I trust you're happy for Bo, but tell me more. What do you think of this contract now? Do you think it'll age well or not well? Do you agree with Lou Lamoriello, who's saying it's too much money, it's too long? And does it actually change your opinion on the return that we got back in the trade, even though we had no way of knowing what was going to happen? I would love to know all your thoughts on all those questions. Leave it in the comments below. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Jets Incredible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you. I always appreciate you. I never take you for granted. So as always, subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to, become a member, upgrade your membership, leave a donation if you like to, and definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this contract for Bo Horvat. Hope to see you tonight, 10:30 p.m. right here on YouTube for my live stream. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Have a great rest of your Sunday. God bless, and go Canucks go.